This is Parkside on the River, one of the most intriguing communities in the entire Austin area, much less just here in Georgetown. And in this video, whether you're looking to relocate to Austin, maybe you're already living here and you're looking for the place to plant your family roots, maybe looking to upsize or downsize, or you are just, cross-comparing some of the other big communities around this area, I truly think that Parkside on the River, there's a reason I've sold more homes in this community than any of the others surrounding here, and there's a lot to talk about in this one. So we're going to put boots on the ground. I'm going to take you for a ride. I'm going to show you around everything you need to know about Parkside on the River, why I think this is one of the most underrated communities with some of the coolest things coming soon in the entire Austin area. Now, before we jump in the car and talk about the neighborhood, let's talk about where we are. Now, we are in Georgetown, which is an interesting suburb of Austin. More or less, most people would consider this the farthest north suburb of Austin before you really start branching out. Georgetown has a lot of very, very unique things going on because for the longest time, like when I was a kid growing up here, Georgetown was not a suburb. Georgetown was a standalone town on its own. It's been the county seat for Williamson County for almost the entirety of Williamson County. Taylor actually was before it. This was the town you used to take day trips to because it was its own true standalone town that obviously with the growth that we've seen in Austin has very quickly swallowed up. But what that means is if you live here, this truly lives like a town on its own. You can go out on a Friday night to the square in downtown Georgetown, just a short drive away from Parkside, and enjoy live music. There's a ton of stuff going on. My in-laws actually live very, very close to the square. We were down there the other Friday night. They had live band. I cannot tell you, people completely covered all grass areas around the square. It was awesome. There's just so many different things going on, so many different restaurants, amazing ones, so many really cool things that make Georgetown really unique. You've also got very easy access to the Wolf Ranch Shopping Center, and stay tuned because I'm going to show you why that's actually going to get a whole lot easier here soon. But the Wolf Ranch Shopping Center has all of your daily things. A huge brand new H-E-B that just opened last year. It's one of the ones that has a barbecue restaurant inside. Very, very cool to have that. It's going to have every grocery you ever need. That's our local grocery store here. You've also got Target. You've got Chick-fil-A, like all of your big box stores, Academy, all of it just down the street from here. You've also got a Walmart. You've got a Home Depot. I mean, literally, it could not be an easier place to live, and you don't have to leave Georgetown to get to some of those things. And Georgetown has a ton of really cool park systems, like the San Gabriel River Park that runs straight off of the square in downtown Georgetown, which is very exciting for Parkside on the River. I'll talk more about this in a minute, but there's going to be, it'd be a really long walk, but realistically, a biking path all the way there from this neighborhood. Now that's in the future plans. It's going to take a few years, but just really, really cool to have these things. Georgetown also has a revamped library, and Parkside on the River, being right next to Leander, also is just a 15-minute drive from Lakewood Park, which is my favorite splash pad. We love taking our kids there. Sam would say the same thing. Just very, very cool. So many great things right in this location that truly make Parkside on the River unique. Now, to get the lay of the land for Parkside on the River, it's really easiest to split it into two different sides. You've got the east side and the west side. And they're most distinctive, not because the neighborhood itself is that different, although there's different builders and different lots in each section, but this neighborhood actually is outside of city limits and is split right down the middle for being both Leander ISD and Georgetown ISD schools. So schools are very important to you. Please be aware that depending on which side of the neighborhood you're on, you're in a completely different school district. So it's not even like you could apply for your kids to go to a different school. That's not an option here because you are outside of different school districts. So we're just leaving from the amenity center, the newest one that just opened. This is number 2 of eventually 3 that will exist here for Parkside on the Leander ISD side. So this side is going to feed into Parkside Elementary, which is just down Parkside Parkway, just down the main road here. Not within the neighborhood, it's within Parkside at Mayfield Ranch, a separate neighborhood but named for the same road, but very, very close to here. Stiles Middle School as well as Rouse High School, which is one of the best rated high schools in all of Leander ISD as well. We've got some of the truly best schools here anywhere around the area, which is one of the big draws to Parkside on the River as well. And on the Georgetown side, that side feeds into Wolf Ranch Elementary, which is the best rated elementary school in all of Georgetown ISD, Tippett Middle School, and Eastview High School. However, it is important to know too, if you look at the grand map for Parkside on the River, the entire plan for the entire development, Georgetown ISD is reserving some space there. More than likely, that's going to end up being an elementary school, but at this time, we can't guarantee it. So just be aware, these schools, especially on the Georgetown side, probably will change. And to be honest too, Leander ISD is rapidly expanding. It's possible that those could change too, but as of right now, as of the time we're recording this in 2025, those are accurate for the neighborhood. So be aware if you're looking at it, that's how we're going to separate the neighborhood out for this video. But be aware, school districts are actually different, which is very rare for a neighborhood like this. Now, we've spoken about what's nearby, but within the neighborhood, the amenity center that we just left from, the second one to open in this community, they're really, really nice. Now, are they as over the top as Wolf Ranch around the corner from here? No, but unless you're the one that's using a big gym every single day, or down and you want all the super fancy things, this one is really fantastic. I don't want to sell it short. Also very cool, I have a lot of you guys that reach out that specifically are looking for a community with a lap pool. Funny how hard that is to find actually, but very cool. This new amenity center does actually have that. And Parkside residents are going to get reciprocal access to both the currently open ones as well as the future coming amenity center also. So very, very cool to have that. That is the amenities within the neighborhood. There are also some future trails. And as I mentioned in the very intro of the video, there is going to be a paved path that goes all the way down. Now, this path currently does exist and it actually goes all the way up to Wolf Ranch. So currently you could, in theory, walk, but it's a very long walk. You'd realistically want to bike from Wolf Ranch all the way down along the river to get to the Georgetown Square. That is eventually going to carry all the way to this neighborhood. It's just going to be a few years. This neighborhood is about halfway through construction. This opened 2018, 2019. So we've got a few more years to go, but that is coming very soon. I think that's one of the biggest perks by far. Now let's talk housing here in Parkside on the River. To be honest, there's something for almost everybody, and there's even more new things coming soon. In fact, Perry's actually opening up a newer section, bigger lots, and there's even bigger ones to come. Down towards the river, we're going to eventually have acre home sites down in this community. So those prices are definitely going to be above $1 million. Right now, there's one resale in the very low 400s, and homes you can see all the way deep into the 900s. Really something for everybody. But that brings me into probably the biggest thing about this neighborhood, the biggest reasons as to why I've sold so many homes in this community, and the biggest con. So homes in here, this neighborhood, if you ask me, 2-second summary. The thing that makes Parkside on the River so unique is because we're approaching the San Gabriel, the natural topography out here is bar none some of the prettiest any neighborhood around here can really compare to. It's very hilly out here. There are also a ton of really pretty oak trees, and the developer out here has very specifically intended on keeping as many of the trees as humanly possible. And you'll see that. I mean, looking just out the window here, you can see the roofs barely peeking up above the trees. Now, I'm not going to pretend that Texas is Houston and we've got big, beautiful pines, but we got to take all the trees we can get here. And so I love the fact that we not only have them, but that they've been so intentional with trying to keep as many of the trees as humanly possible. By far and away, everybody I've brought out here, that is the thing that is most impressive. If you actually want trees in your backyard, it sounds crazy, but we don't have a ton of that here in the Austin area, but you actually do have that in this neighborhood. So if that's something you're looking for, if you're even potentially looking for a possible view, like those things are actually possible within this neighborhood because of the topography. Now, the biggest drawback, and the reason that I've had people not buy in this neighborhood does still feel a little bit rural. When you're driving down 2243, which is the easy access between Ronald Reagan and I-35, the way you're gonna get in and out of this neighborhood right now until that new bridge opens, it does feel very rural out here. It's funny because a lot of the established neighborhoods around here are the acre plus home site. The people who wanted to live more rural, they're not ready for a ranch. They don't want to mow all day Saturday, but they wanted that elbow room. They wanted that quieter life. When you drive out here in person, you're definitely going to feel that. Now, the pro side of that argument is eventually there's going to be a bridge, which is going to make Parkside Parkway connect all the way across to Highway 29, which will take you a straight shot down into Wolf Ranch. And I want to be super clear too, The HEB Wolf Ranch Shopping Center, like, that literally is a 10-12 minute drive. It's not far at all. It's just definitely going to feel more rural. And before I would bring any of you guys out here, I would want you to know that, at least as a heads up. We're definitely not in the middle of everything. It does feel a little bit more rural, but again, that's one of the more appealing things of it, in my opinion. It is a little bit more quiet. The reason that so many people built those acre homes out here in the first place is because they wanted it to be a little bit more quiet. If that's something you're looking for, this is an awesome spot for it. Now, speaking more on the homes, the lots in here, again, like I mentioned, can basically cover anything. Now, I do want to make it clear, if you're looking for something smaller on one of the smaller lots, basically everything from this point forward is going to get bigger as we get close to the river. For example, Perry just opened a new section of 80s. There's even 90 plus more coming. But you can get lots down from the 40s all the way up to, again, those 90 lots that are coming very soon with 6 different builders. You've got Chesmar, Coventry, Highland, MI, Perry, and Taylor Morrison building in this neighborhood. All are very well acclaimed builders, all build absolutely stunning homes. And I love that each one has a little bit of a flavor, depending on what you're looking for, a little bit of their signature thing. For example, Perry Homes obviously is known for the big, beautiful picture windows, and they're building some of the bigger homes out here. But you can also do a ton of customizability. Highland is absolutely exceptionally known for their customizability as well. One of the biggest homes I ever sold was a Taylor Morrison. They build an absolutely beautiful home. Literally, no matter what you're looking for, you can definitely find something here, and it's absolutely worth exploring. You know, if I brought any of you guys out here, we're definitely going to compare everything, because Chesmar has a little bit more, I don't know how to say quirky. Quirky is the wrong word. More unique floor plans. If you want something that doesn't feel like a stamped out cookie cutter, they do some really cool features. Curved islands are something that they do in Blackhawk, for example, that I just think is really unique, very fun, and again, just makes it feel like your house isn't another stamped out cookie cutter house, for example. So just lots to choose from, which is very, very cool to have. And again, with that pricing, there literally is something in here for everybody. Now, I do want to also hit on tax rate, because tax rate's something that is different because we have different school districts through the neighborhood. So be aware, tax rate in this neighborhood is a little bit higher. There is a mud tax, which is what covers a lot of the utilities, the roads, everything that's going into the actual building of the neighborhood and the infrastructure for it. So on the Georgetown ISD side of the neighborhood, currently the tax rate is a 2.47. Not crazy, but definitely not the lowest. Just something to be aware of when you're, doing your budget calculations. That does make a pretty big difference. Now, it is still lower than some of the other bigger master plan communities around here that you might be comparing to, but just something to be aware of. On the Leander ISD side, it's currently 2.6%. So just a hair higher. It's not going to make any sort of dramatic difference. But when you're doing your budgeting, I'm a pretty financially conservative guy. These are things that I would want to know about. And it's funny too, because the schools here are so exceptional. I've had clients, and as myself a parent, when you start doing the math out and you're comparing the cost of private school versus moving into a slightly higher tax rate but a better school district, all these things kind of even out. Anyways, it's not world ending, but it is something to be aware of. HOA fee here is also $840 paid annually. So something to be aware of. Kith Management is the one who runs this neighborhood. And utilities, no matter which section you're in, are City of Georgetown. So something also to be aware of. Even if you're on the Leander ISD side, you still are Georgetown City Utilities. Now, if you're looking into Parkside on the river, I sure hope this video was helpful to you and just trying to get a true sense of what it's actually like to live here. And if you're looking for a real estate agent, someone to help be there to work for you, to help you find the right community for you, whether it's this one, maybe it's some of the others in this area, help guide you through the process, whether it's a resale home or a new construction, just make you confident along the way, I would love to be that for you. You can reach out to me directly. My personal contact details are on the screen and down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time.